Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Lauren from Guthrie and Ganny, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the recording of my live question and answer session that I did on the Instagram platform on Monday the 27th of February. So I have got loads of really beautiful new fabrics to show you that have come into the shop. I've got all of the questions that you have been sending in beforehand, asking for advice and tips and recommendations for different pattern and fabric combinations as well. So lots of inspiration to be had. You will see me, or hear me rather, read out the questions that are coming in live as well, or the comments that are coming in live as I'm chatting. So read them out just so that when you are watching here on YouTube, you've got the context of that as well. If you would like to ask me a question that I can answer in another session, then feel free to leave a comment on this video, or you can drop us an email and I will put the contact details for that in the description to this video. Everything's available on the website. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. I'm going to switch over to the live video now. I hope you enjoy it and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hiya, thanks for joining. Got lots and lots to share with you tonight because I had a bit of a break for half term last week. Some half term logistics that I wasn't able to come over, but hopefully you have been seeing some of the new fabrics. I had a new fabrics video on YouTube, so you could see some new fabrics there. And yet the website has been really busy getting updated with lots of new fabric. They've all come at once. There's still more coming. There's more waiting to go on this week. We've got more coming again next week. So yeah, it's just been like a really busy time. But it's lovely to be with you all again. I've got lots of questions as well, so I'm going to try really hard to get through them. But as I was getting all of the fabrics out to answer all of your questions, there is a lot. I am surrounded by a lot of fabric right now, so hopefully I get a chance to get through them all. I guess it's maybe just because there's like 2 weeks worth of questions that have sort of built up, so I've tried to kind of amalgamate some similar questions where I could. So hopefully I will get to cover everything. I know people usually ask, and I think somebody's mentioned it already. Oh, I love your top. Thank you. I actually wasn't going to wear this tonight because usually when I wear black, the camera does this weird sort of like contrast thing. And then it kind of makes the lighting go a bit weird. So I've actually ended up turning my normal lighting off because I guess the contrast between my face and the black is just a little bit more extreme. But yeah, I just felt so cozy in it that I thought I would just keep it on. So hopefully the light isn't going to do anything weird because I've got a black top on. It is the Sew House 7 toaster, so some of you might recommend it. I've made so many of the version 2. I don't think I've actually ever made the version 1 before, although it is really nice. But I have made loads of the version 2. It's one of my most favourite jumper patterns. And I made some using this really lovely snuggly fabric that's come back into stock. We had it before Christmas and then it took a bit longer than we expected to come back in. But we've got it in black, navy, and then this really nice green colour here. And then also like a sort of orangey, russety red colour. It's the thickest sweatshirting we've got. So yeah, it's really sort of kind of just quite bouncy, quite thick. The back of it's really lovely and soft and snuggly, and honestly it's so warm. And the other reason that I really like it for the toaster is that you can see it's kind of helping to hold that sort of shape. A lot of the other toasters that I've made have been in a lighter weight fabric, and then the neckline kind of cowls like a little bit more like that, which I think still looks nice. But that, because this fabric is just a little bit thicker, it does help to just sort of maintain that shape. You can sort of see it going up there a little bit. Is that the sea foam? Yeah, I think, or is it sea pine snuggly fleeceback organic cotton sweatshirting. So it's 82% organic cotton and 18% recycled polyester at 1780 a metre. So yeah, 4 colours of that. Where is it on your website, please? It'll just be in the sweatshirting section, or if you just search the word snuggly. There's not any other fabrics that are called snuggly, so if you search the word snuggly, then all of the 4 colours will come up as well. Okay, now let me get on to Sewing Society, hints and clues, and update you on all of that. So the next release of kits is going to be on Wednesday. That's the 1st of March, so we'll have 2 new kits going out then to newsletter subscribers. Last month in February, some of the colourways sold out really quickly, and by the time it got to Thursday there wasn't really much left, so if you haven't signed up to our newsletter already, make sure that you sign up so that you get first access to purchase those kits when they go live at midday on Wednesday. One of them could be a whole outfit, but you could definitely layer it with other things as well. Both of them have got buttons, and then the other one is like a really good classic piece that you could wear with lots of different things. So definitely good handmade outfit builders, these two kits. They are probably more on, I wouldn't say they're for like beginners or like total beginners, but the kits are a really good way for you to like push yourself a little bit. So maybe if you haven't made that a type of garment before, or it's maybe a new to you fabric or a technique, the kits are a really good way to try it out, because you know that you've got everything you need in the kit. You can see what, you know, we've got the samples made up, so you can kind of see what the pattern will look like in the fabric that's in the kit. And then you've obviously got the video as well that comes with it, that's got all of my extra hints and tips for helping you get a really nice finish. So they are, even though they probably are like a little bit more involved, they are a really good way to sort of just help you to progress your skills a little bit and push yourself. Hopefully some of you have also been seeing some of the sneak peeks of the birthday fabric print that's going to be coming out in April. So that's been really exciting that I've finally been able to start sharing little snippets of that with you. So of course we don't ever release what the pattern or what the fabric is exactly going to be like before the launch day. You have to be there at the launch day online, or for the April one, it's the in-person event where it'll initially get released. But yeah, because this is like a special birthday print and it's got a bit more of a story behind it, so I collaborated with Rachel Parker to design the print, and all of the elements and things that are included in it are all there for a reason. So over the next 6 weeks, well, we've had 2 weeks already, so 4 more weeks where you'll get like a little snippet of something that is included in the print and then the story behind it as well. So you'll start to see things coming together, but you won't get to see the full boona of the print until the in-person event on Saturday the 1st of April, or if you can't make it to that, then it'll be on Sunday the 2nd that you'll get access to buy that. I'm sure it'll be on Instagram etc on Saturday the 1st, but if you actually want to buy it online, it'll be available on Sunday the 2nd. Okay, so I think we're all up to date on there. Now, some people had been asking about the window display as well, so just this afternoon I posted a little tour on my YouTube video that is about the new window. It tells you what all the patterns are and all the fabrics are. Somebody was asking about the cardigans. This one's the Tilly and the Buttons Pearl cardigan, and then we've also got the True Bias Marlowe cardigan. That's the one in the corner there as well. But yeah, if you have a look on the blog, on the website, or on my YouTube channel, then you'll get to see the full sort of tour and everything that is featured in the window there. Now on to some of the new fabrics. So since I posted my new fabrics roundup for February last week, there's even more new fabrics that have come in, so I thought I would show you some of them. Some of you have been asking to see them as well. So the first one that I'm going to show you comes in 2 different colourways. It's this one here, and it is the Daisy Leaves stretch cotton sateen fabric. It's £13.90 a metre, so we've got a powder blue and then we've got a navy colourway as well. So this is going to be really good for sort of smarter pairs of trousers. So the Closet Core Sasha would be like a really classic example of that. The Avid Seamstress City trousers I think would work nicely as well. It's got that bit of stretch in it. You could also make a skirt as well, so even just like a simple A-line skirt. The Sew Over at Ava is like a classic example of that, but you know, any sort of simple straight A-line skirt would be nice as well. Because it is a stretch cotton sateen, it does sort of hold its shape a little bit more, like it's going to be nice and crisp. Say if you did something that had pleats in it, for example, like the pleats would sit quite crisply, or if you had to do like a pocket or a welt or something, it's going to be like nice and crisp and press really well into those sort of details. So yeah, a couple of nice fancy patterns prints there. And then the next one is, again, we've got 2 colourways of this one. This is the Pebble Rocks viscose jersey fabric, and we've got it in a tan tangerine colour, and then also a sort of taupe colour as well. So this is a viscose jersey, so it's a stretchy fabric, and viscose jersey does tend to be quite lightweight, so it drapes around, it swishes, it moves a lot, and it's really good for things like wrap dresses. The cashmerette Appleton wrap dress is a really classic example of that. You could make the closet core ebony as well, and the Friday Pattern Company Adrian blouse, that's actually what is in the window there as well, that top, that sort of t-shirt top. So yeah, anything where you want it, where it's stretchy but you want it to have sort of like drape and swish in it, that's going to be good for those fabrics there. So yeah, 2 colorways of that one. And then what else was it? The next one was somebody wanted to see some of the more monochrome fabrics. We do have this one here, which is black and white. This is sort of like, it reminds me a bit like terrazzo really, where it's got those sort of irregular kind of bits in it, and it's a viscose jersey as well. It is the monochrome terrazzo viscose jersey. It's $12.50 a metre. So again, same applications as what I was suggesting before, the wrap dresses and sort of looser style tops where you want some drape and swish. And then another viscose jersey here. This is the Stamped Roses on Midnight, and it is $12.50 as well. I would say it's a very, very dark navy, this one, which is why we've called it Midnight. But yeah, you can just see those sort of like roses and leaves in that one. It's really, really lovely, and yeah, nice and sort of drapey and swishy as well. That would make a gorgeous wrap dress, that one. I really like that one. And then somebody else was also asking to see this viscose splattered fabric. So this is a woven viscose. It's a viscose crepe. So because it's a crepe, it's got that sort of texture on it, like it's not totally smooth and flat. And yeah, it's just a really nice sort of like all over kind of splattery print. It's really lovely. So this is the Cool Splatter Viscose Crepe. It's $10.50 a metre. Just lovely, lovely and drapey and swishy. You wouldn't need to line it. You can't see through it at all. So it comes in this lovely kind of bluey colourway. And then we've also got it in a sort of warmer colourway as well, which has got a kind of taupe background and then really lovely little sort of tangerine spots on it, which is really nice too. Almost a little bit like marbling. Do you ever do that? Marbling, you know, where you put the ink in water. So yeah, some really nice ones there. And then also the last new ones that I wanted to show you, which I did pop on stories at the weekend, but just because I get so many questions where people are asking what cuffing or ribbing matches the sweatshirting. So we've had a couple of colours of the recycled sweatshirting in, and this was the fabric that we used for the Chalk and Notch page hoodie and the Closet Core plateau jogger kits last September, where we had the denim and the maroon and the teal and the baby pink. So we've got a couple of new colours for that. This is the clay, and then we have also got pine as well. So we've got, it's like fleece back sweatshirting. It's not quite as thick as the one I've got on. It's probably more similar to Cosy Colours if you've used that before. And then it's got the matching ribbing that goes with it as well. So that's the clay. And then the other one is the pine. Let me just get that one for you. This one here. So yeah, another matching sweatshirting and ribbing combination. So let's see what love the splatter print. Yeah, it's really nice with the viscose jersey suit, the named patterns, Cisco interlace dress. If I think so, yeah. If that's for stretch fabric, then it should be fine. It would also be good for the named kilo wrap dress as well. The viscose jersey would be nice for that. Now the next thing, any suggestions for fabric for the Merchant Mills eaves? Somebody's actually asked about a fabric later, and I was going to suggest the eaves, so hold that thought and I will come back to it. Now the next set of questions that I wanted to answer were about the tamarack jacket that I had made using the Thelma quilted fabric, which I posted a reel about, and then also posted like some photos as well. So a lot of you had been asking lots of questions about this, so I thought I'd try and kind of round them up and answer them all together. Now somebody was asking to see a few different colourways of that fabric. It does come in various different colourways now. So this is the indigo colourway here with the diamond print. It's pretty dark. I guess you can see it contrasted against the black here, but you know, it is pretty dark. Then the thunder is like a brighter blue colourway. So obviously comparing the two, you can see that this, you know, this is very bright blue and it's totally different from the thunder. And then the rosewood is a much sort of warmer shade here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold all three of them together, but hopefully the lady that was asking to see all of these three colours, that gives you a good idea. Sometimes seeing them in the context of a person helps as well. I would probably say that, you know, the chances are this is going to go with more things in your wardrobe. But, you know, the other colours are really fun as well. The rosewood one's been especially popular. We actually don't have a huge amount of that one left. So yeah, I wear my teal page hoodie so much. I love that kit. I know I wear the denim one all the time. It's like my favourite one. I just want to check one thing in my, yeah, I just wanted to check my other recording was happening there. Okay, so yeah, we've got the matching binding that goes with that as well. And then somebody was asking about what needle to use when combining these two. So I lined mine with the Teddy shearling fabric. And I used a Microtex needle. I'm pretty sure it was an 80 or a 90, but I can't actually remember, but it was a Microtex needle. Somebody was asking, are you planning to stock the white/beige version of the Thelma quilt fabric? No, sorry, we're not. This will probably be the last sort of batch that we get in of them for the time being. So yeah, I'm sorry, we won't have those other colours at the moment. And then somebody was asking, can you talk about the plaid patch behind the neck on your Thelma tamarack? Why/how? Good questions. So I sewed this little sort of like patch thing in at the back neckline. To be honest, it doesn't really serve any particular purpose other than it kind of looks cool and it gives a little bit of contrast on the inside. I guess it's like something that you would maybe see more in ready to wear fabric, and I thought that it would just be a nice way to like add a little bit of detail and contrast. And I had this little bit of fabric left over from something else I made, and then I could sew some little labels on it as well and have the hang loop. So to put it on, I literally just cut out a bit of fabric and sort of, I just freehand like drew like a curved bit that matched the neckline, and then I overlocked it and I pressed it back, and then I actually then just hand stitched this down only onto the shearling. You could probably machine it onto the shearling before you then basted it onto the outer fabric, but I basically only thought of doing it later, so I ended up just hand sewing it on. And then yeah, I just decided to like bind that little section as well, so it's just instead of having the regular binding going all the way there, I just sort of bound that little bit as well. So yeah, hopefully that puts into a little bit of context why it's there. And then the last one that was sort of more related to this kind of fabric and this project, somebody was asking about the Iora jacket by Pauline Alice. I'd love to make it in the Thelma fabric, but I'm not sure about the hemline, which is not quilted in the pattern. It looks a bit like, I guess kind of similar to the tamarack in a way, I guess, like just quite a simple sort of little jacket that kind of overlaps at the front and has buttons, but it's sort of got this band that it's got a different shaped neckline, sort of got this band that goes all the way round and round the hem as well, which is not quilted. It just looks like regular fabric. I guess it's like a sort of facing that you see on the outside. You probably could just sew it with the Thelma fabric as well. It's not actually that thick and bulk, like it's not that chunky. So you could probably just use the same fabric. I don't totally know how that's constructed and what it's like on the inside. Like maybe on the inside you could use a thinner fabric, or you know, like a nice cotton flannel and sort of contrast against that, like what I've done here. I think you can actually get some of the Thelma fabric, but you can get just like not quilted, like you can get just that fabric on its own. We don't stock it unfortunately, but you might be able to get it somewhere else as well. Maybe that's another option too. Somebody's asking, do you sell Microtex needles? We do indeed. We sell the prim variety in like a little mixed pack like this, so they're on the website as well. I brought some Sharps needles from Hemline. Are they the same as Microtex? They are 60, 70 and 80. Yes, Sharps needles probably are the same as Microtex. I just prefer this brand than to Hemline. Okay, somebody's asking about the top pattern. Yes, it is the toaster version 2 from Sew House 7. Somebody else is asking about lovely viscoses for summer vibes. Yeah, there was actually another few. That reminds me, there was some other new fabrics that I was going to show that people were asking to see as well, which are quite summery. This one is the green floral stencil viscose fabric. It's 10.50 a metre, so it's quite a large scale. And it's navy with sort of leaves and flowers and then little green bits on it. So that's really nice. Don't think you need to line it either. So it's nice and opaque. And then same fabric, but in a red colourway. So navy with just where it was green in the last one, it's red. So that's a nice summery viscose. And then we do also have lots of viscose linen prints as well. So I brought some of them over. They're all in quite big rolls, so I couldn't really bring them all over. But this one here comes in a few different colourways. This is the sky blue stenciled roses viscose linen fabric. It's 13.50 a metre. It's 70 viscose, 30 linen. Quite a large scale one, but nice drape because it's got lots of viscose in it. And this would be really nice for dresses and skirts. You could make a nice jumpsuit in it as well. And it comes in a navy and also like a sort of tangerine colourway as well. And then this one here this is another viscose linen, which is navy, but it also comes in a sort of taupe colourway as well. This is the navy stamped leaves viscose linen fabric. So again, it's quite a large scale, but more leaves this time. They're almost sort of like painterly a bit, or sort of more sketchy. So yeah, another really lovely one there. But yeah, they are all in the just arrived section already. Oh wow, I love the viscose linen floral. Yeah, it's really nice. Okay, so on to the questions that were sent in beforehand. Somebody was asking, is it expensive to ship to Canada? It is more expensive to ship to Canada than it is to the US, and there's also slightly different customs rules as well. But we've recently switched to FedEx for international shipping, and it is a little bit cheaper than what it used to be with our other courier company. So yeah. Or if you go to the very, very bottom footer on any page on the website, you'll see a link to the international shipping terms, so you can have a look there at what all the prices and things are. Okay, somebody's asking, do you have any fabric suitable for an apron? Yeah, we do have some cotton canvas that comes in a few different colours. That would be quite heavy duty and good for an apron. So if you search cotton canvas online, then yeah, you can see it. Somebody's asking to see the olive thelma fabric. So it's quite far away, sorry. Next week, if you can wait till then. Okay, the next one was, I'm trying to use a twin needle but only one needle is stitching. I've checked the tension, etc., but nothing works. I have had problems using twin needles before, but I have to say I haven't had problems with only one needle stitching. I wonder maybe if you need to check that the tension of both of the top threads is even, like the threads can run through easily. Maybe one's getting caught somewhere or something. That could be a potential. Yeah, if anybody's ever had an issue with only one twin needle stitching and you've discovered what it is, please share and I'll read it out. Because yeah, I you know, short of like just, you know, checking the bobbins in the right way, the bobbin's been wound correctly at the right tension, it's been inserted in the right way, all of those sorts of things. I'm not sure what else to try. Lauren, do you have bias binding to match those pre-quilted fabrics, or did you sell out? Yes, we do have the binding to match. Yep. Okay, the next question was, my Kelly anorak is too small across the shoulders. If I turn it into a gilet, will this fit better? I think it would fit a bit better, yeah. I suppose it depends how small it is, but definitely when you've not got the restriction of like the, you know, the arms, the sleeves being on, I think it will fit better. So definitely worth a try if you feel like it's totally unwearable otherwise. What kind of needle for faux leather? Again, I would say Microtex is going to be good for that. Depending on how thick it is, then just go for like a bigger one, you know, like an 80. Okay, is the machine switched to sewing with a twin needle? That's a good point. Maybe you need to check that if maybe your machine's got a special setting for sewing with a twin needle, special like needle position, or just, yeah, like a special stitch function. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, the next one was my buttonhole foot snagged a lovely viscose. Any ideas to help prevent this? Without sounding like a broken record, you need a microtex needle again. The answer to everything tonight is a microtex needle. You need to just, you just need to make sure it's like a really sharp, very, fine needle for your fabric, and that should hopefully minimize any snagging. The other thing that I would suggest that you do as well is when you then cut the buttonhole open, is that you like really carefully clip away any threads that are sort of like fraying in that little bit in the middle of the buttonhole. Because before I've probably not done that enough, and the little threads come loose and then it's got caught in the button and then it snags it as well, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, watch out for that too. The next question was, I made the Megan Nielsen jarrah with a curved hem, but the hem flips up. How can I stabilize it? It's probably just because you've used quite a lightweight fabric, and sometimes if there's not enough weight in the hem, or the hem's not deep enough, then it will just tend to flip out. What if it's really annoying you, and you've pressed it and it's just still not staying flat, then what you could try is, if you've got enough fabric left over, you could try putting a facing on it instead, and that would give it more weight. Maybe a facing that's like a couple of inches deep, and it might just give it enough weight for it to hang a bit better. Or if you don't want to do that, you could just straighten, and the curved hem sticking out is really annoying you could just straighten it out and have it a straight hem instead. Okay, the next one was, are you going to be getting any swimwear fabric this year? I'm planning early. Will you be getting any more Liberty swimwear? I haven't ordered any at the moment. I will ask the question to see if they have any available. I think I got lucky last year ordering it. We do still have some Liberty swimwear left. We've got this one here, which is the Annabelle Thorpe A, and this one here is the Blossom Valley B. So yeah, we do still have these two Liberty swimwear ones left, but I will find out and see if any more are going to be available. Okay, somebody's saying my jarrah did that, and I used the stabilizing, very interfacing, and triple top stitched it, and it worked a treat. Very narrow. Okay, used fit, and okay, great. Okay, so you could. So was that with like knit interfacing you used, maybe? Good suggestion, thanks for sharing. Okay, the next one was, what do you do with muslins you made that aren't wearable? I never know what to do with them. I don't have this problem because I don't really make muslins that aren't wearable. I have done in the past for a coat a couple of times, years and years ago. And I think in the end we cut it up and used it as like little sample bits to use in workshops. I mean, it's a good question. Maybe you want to store them for reference in the future. I don't know, maybe if you're making the same thing again, or maybe maybe they just have to sort of be recycled somehow, like if there's like a fabric recycling place. I know it's tricky, isn't it? If anybody else has got any good suggestions of what you do with your muslins or toiles that aren't wearable, then please share. I just sewed the fibre mid Josephine dress, and everything was going well with the neckline is finished with bias binding, but the top edges don't line up. Should I unpick all the bias binding? I'm just trying to picture what, and everything was going well with the neckline is finished, but the top edges don't line up. I totally can't picture what you mean there. See if you send me a picture of it, you DM me a picture of it, then I'll maybe be able to work it out and I'll send you some suggestions. Okay, the next one was tips for your chunky knit. I'm scared to start cutting. First of all, don't be scared. It won't be as bad as you think. You need to make sure that you've got sharp dressmaking scissors, but hopefully you've got that anyway. This is the chunky knit fabric in question. Oh, where's my tag gone? Sorry, I can't read out its price or anything. We do also have it in black and navy as well, and it's a really lovely fabric. Makes a nice Marlowe cardigan, or you could make the Helen's Closet Blackwood as well. I actually think you could probably make toaster version 2 with it as well. I would suggest that you do need an overlocker with this, because the knit stitches are quite loose. and it will just really help to prevent it from fraying if you overlock it. It is quite weighty and heavy, so as you're cutting it out, if you're cutting it out on a surface or a table, make sure that you fold it up so that the weight of the fabric isn't dragging off the edge, and that will help to make sure that it's cut out really nice and evenly. And use the rib to help you get your grain line. So if you're placing it on the fold, make sure that the fold, that rib is going parallel to the fold. When you're lining up your grain line pieces, make sure that is lined up with your grain line pieces as well, so that it comes out nice and straight. But yeah, it won't be as bad as you think. It's a lovely fabric, looks really nice in a garment. Okay, so let's see if I've missed any questions there. Make a poof, a footstool, and use the scraps muslins to stuff in it. Yeah, Closet Core, I've got a free pattern to make like a little sort of patchwork poof that you can then fill with all your scraps. I know a lot of people do that. Thanks for reminding me. Can you show the terracotta foliage French terry? Sorry, it's not near me right now. I'll need to add that onto my list for next time. This is at the back. Okay, this is the binding that's not lining up. Maybe, it depends by how much, I don't know. Make a Closet Core free pattern poof and stuff it yet. Great. Any tips for buttonholes on that chunky knit? I have struggled with this sort of fabric on a Marlowe. I think you need to make sure that you've got some interfacing there to stabilise it. And then a couple of the ladies on the cardigan workshop that we did a few weeks ago were using that exact fabric. And what we were finding when we did the buttonholes was that because the seam line between the hem band and the main fabric, that seam line was quite bulky, it was like touching the little buttonhole lever on the foot of the machine, and it was putting the sequencing of the machine stitching the buttonhole out. So I think you need to make sure that as you put the buttonholes on, is that you've got no fabric on the left hand side of the machine. It does kind of mean that you have to like squidge your garment in the little space in the sewing machine, but I think that is going to help to make sure that nothing is touching that buttonhole lever, because as soon as anything sort of hits it, the machine just detects it, and then it'll put the sequencing out if it's stitching the buttonhole. How close in colour is the pine sweatshirting with the bottle green quilted one, or is there a closer match? How close in colour is the pine sweatshirting with bottle green quilted one? I'm not sure what bottle green quilted one. Sorry, I'm struggling to work out totally what ones you mean there. I finally made my Geneva blouse kit. Do you stock the blue viscose fabric that was also a choice in the kit? Sorry, it was a kit exclusive, that one, so we don't, I'm afraid. Okay, so the next question here on my list was, can I use a stretch fabric for a cosy soft feel for a woven pattern if I block fuse with interfacing? I would say probably, I don't think it would really work that well. I feel like block fusing a stretchy fabric might just take away like the nice coziness of it. I suppose it depends what sort of woven pattern you've got. Maybe it's better to try and find a stretch pattern that's similar that you could use sweatshirting with. Or you could just use the stretchy fabric with a woven pattern, but you might have to amend how certain parts of it are finished off, like for the neckline, for example, because you would have to make sure, depending on the size and the opening of the neckline, you would have to make sure that it can stretch if you were making a woven top with stretchy fabric. Okay, the next one was another question about the jarrah. I made the jarrah sweater and it rides back and it lifts at the front. What fitting adjustments do you suggest? So here I'm picturing that it rides back here and it lifts at the front, so you need a forward shoulder adjustment where you basically add a bit more onto the back bodice at that shoulder bit, and you take away a little bit from the front so that your seam is just a bit further forward. So hopefully that makes sense. The bottle green behind you from the Hovia kit. Okay. Yeah, so it was the bottle green one, and what was it you wanted to match again? The pine sweatshirting. Is that this one? I don't know, I don't think they're similar. The pine sweatshirting is much lighter. Much lighter. I don't think I've got any ribbing. This is quite as dark as that. Possibly, actually, there might be one on the cuffing wall. See, if you send me a direct message to remind me, I'll take a picture of the cuffing that's in another part of the shop afterwards and I'll send it to you. Okay, could a Marlowe cardi be made with the quilted fabric, please? With this quilted fabric? Yeah, I guess it could, because it is quite oversized, even though it's designed for stretch fabric. I don't know, the neckline might sit a little bit funny though. It might not sit totally flat because the neckband does get sort of stretched around the back. So yeah, I don't know, you'd maybe have to sort of, because the neckband's just a rectangle, you'd maybe have to somehow work out how to curve the neckband. I'd like to make a bag from the previous sewing kit. Can I still buy the kit? So if the kits are we only have a limited number of kits each month, and once they're gone, they're kind of gone. Sometimes we have some of the supplies left over, so if you send us an email about what kit it was you wanted to make, we can let you know if we've still got any of the bits and pieces left. Okay, this is one where you might have some suggestions to contribute to this question as well. Pattern ideas for leftover fabrics, 1 meter lengths and bits, thank you. And then so another question, but related. Project ideas for sweatshirt scraps. The Ogden Cami, the True Bias one, is a favourite of mine for not using up that much fabric. So that could be a nice option. The Grainline Willow tank top as well is another one that I've made quite a lot that doesn't really use up that much fabric either. And then for project ideas for sweatshirt scraps, I'm sorry I didn't have time to look it up, and I feel like I should remember this because I have answered this question probably quite a while ago now. But there are some sweatshirting patterns that are made up of lots of different sections, so you can kind of do different colour blocking and stuff. So if you like that sort of thing, that might be an option to use up different ones. Helen's Closet Reynolds or Ashton top. Yeah, the Ashton's is quite similar to the Grainline Willow one as well. The Zoe tank, yeah, that's another good one for stretch fabric. The Arlo track, yeah, the Friday Pattern Company Arlo track. I don't know if it's like a sweater, a zip up. It's a zip up, but it's got different panels in it as well, so that would also be good for sweatshirt scraps. You could kind of colour block it to use it up. Knickers for jersey, good suggestion there. The ladies from Cut One Pair made a list of recommendations for 1 meter fabric patterns. I think that's good. It sounds like a good list to check out. A neck snood thing to use sweatshirt scraps. Yeah, that's another good idea as well, because you just need like sort of rectangle to do that. A short sleeved Sew House 7 Remy Raglan for 1 meter. Leftover scraps are great for children's clothes if you have any small people in your life. I'm making my son some joggers from leftover sweatshirting at the moment. I totally do that as well. I cut my smaller woven scraps into 10 centimetre squares and I'm making a quilt with them. Lovely. The square neck top, Friday Pattern Company, I Am Hatha, paper cut. The fold line has a list of 1 meter fabric patterns too. Okay, great, lovely. A few places to check out there on that one. The next question was, what is the difference between weft and knit interfacing? So they're both knitted, but weft interfacing has a stabilizing weft thread which will go like horizontally along the fabric. And that's so that it will give structure to a fabric, but will still allow normal sort of drape and movement in the fabric as well. So that's the difference. And from what I can gather, the weft interfacing doesn't actually stretch, or it certainly wouldn't stretch in that direction, maybe stretch in the other direction, whereas the knit interfacing does stretch. The next one was, is clear elastic usually a requirement to gather rayon jersey? Just wondering if I can replace that. Yeah, I mean, if you stretch the clear elastic while you're sewing the jersey, then it will gather it up really nicely, quickly and easily. But you could just do regular long basting stitches with like a nice loose tension, or put it up to like longest stitch length your machine can do, 5mm one probably, and make sure you've got long thread tails, and then just pull on one side of the threads and that will gather it up as well. So you can just do that. The next one was, is normal cotton bias binding okay for a jersey neckline, or does it also need to stretch? I would say really it does need to stretch as well. I think if it was a stretchy fabric, a stretchy garment, and you had a neckline that didn't stretch, I think it would sort of affect how the overall thing was hanging, and also probably how you get it on and off over your head as well, because the neckline wouldn't be able to stretch. I saw a great reel today about creating bias binding from tiny woven scraps. Yeah, that's a really good idea as well. If you use the continuous bias binding method, which I do have a video on, it's quite old now, but still relevant. I think from like a 50 centimetre square of woven fabric, depending on the width of binding that you cut, you can probably get about 9 metres of bias binding, which might be quite handy. Isa and Stitches comfort hood, just a collar and a hood for sweatshirting, good. Matchy college top for solid fabrics. The Nord sweatshirt is good for using up sweatshirt scraps. Thank you everybody for your suggestions. Okay, the next one was, any tips for tidier seams in jersey fabrics? I know they don't fray, but I don't have an overlocker. I would say I'm not really sure like why you're too worried about it. I wouldn't be too worried about it if it's a jersey that is not fraying. I don't think you need to do anything to them. And I think if you do try neating them off with the sewing machine, like some sort of overcast stitch, I feel like it might just add bulk that you don't really need. It'll use up a lot of thread, and it might stretch out the fabric a little bit, so I don't think it would really be of any benefit. I would say the overlocker is probably like the best way to get neat finish on the inside, but I personally don't think, if it's a jersey or a stretchy fabric that doesn't fray and you just sew on the sewing machine, I personally don't think that looks untidy anyway. But I know everybody's got sort of personal preferences on that. Okay, somebody's saying, I have cut down my waist fabric as you suggested, laying out pattern pieces and working out how much I need rather than following pattern recommendations. Yeah, that can be like a really good way to avoid having bits left over, is to try and work out precisely how much you need. Because sometimes the pattern recommendations can some pattern companies are probably like a bit more generous than others, and also if you cut out on the single layer, even that can save even more fabric. But yeah, definitely if you prepare your pattern first in the size that you're making, and then you look at what the width of the fabric is that you're looking to buy for that project, and you can sort of mark it out on your floor or your table or whatever at home, and then lay your pattern pieces out, you can work out exactly what you need. And because we sell all of our fabrics by the 10 centimetre, it means that you can really buy exactly how much you need. You're not having to round up to the nearest half metre, which is really good. Okay, the next one was, can you tell me please if either/both the sunflower embroidered border cotton or the cross-stitch floral cotton would be suitable for the Chalk and Notch Wren blouse? So the Chalk and Notch Wren is a really lovely little blouse pattern. I've made one of these. It's got these sort of fuller kind of lantern sleeves, and then just like a simple little rounded neckline with a facing and buttons down the front. It's got bust darts and it's got darts at the back as well, so it does mean it's a little bit more fitted. The two questions that we're getting asked about there were these ones. This also comes in a green as well, and it's called border because the selvage bit, the embroidery goes right up to it. And then that's the cross stitch one there. This also comes in navy and pink as well, which is really nice. Yes, I think you could use both of these to make the wren, but because they're both cotton and they're quite heavily embroidered, it will hold the volume of the sleeve quite a bit. Which I don't think is a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of. The design of the sleeve is quite full. I've made one in a viscose fabric, so it sort of like hangs and drapes a little bit more, but in something like a cotton, it will sort of hold its shape a little bit more. Okay, the next one was fabric ideas for the Closet Core Pietra shorts version, please. Looking for something structured, no drape and no print, please. I don't have the Pietra pattern. We must be out of stock of those ones, but it's got a gathered waistline, but then it's sort of flat at the front, and it's got a centre, it's got a seam down the legs as well, the Pietras. So the two that I would suggest for that are where have they gone? These two here, either the enzyme linen, which comes in lots of colours, and we're waiting for more colours to come in because we stock quite a wide range of colours in the summertime, so that's a really nice one. I haven't made the Pietras out of that before, but I have made the Drape Emerson and the Flints, the Megan Nielsen Flints out of that, the enzyme linen, and it worked really nicely. The other option is a ramie fabric as well, which is probably a little bit thicker and a little bit sort of slightly more stiffer than the enzyme linen. Comes in lots of colours as well. It's lovely in texture, it's got a very natural feel. This particular one is the muted olive, but it does come in lots of other colourways as well. So yeah, this is the ramie one. Okay, the next question was, is it possible to see the maple colour atelier brunette variated rib cord? I'm considering making the Sew House 7 free range slacks, and I am petite, so worried it might be too stiff or overwhelming. So this is the question, the fabric here in question, and the free range slacks do have a gathered waistline all the way around. It's gathered, so to be honest, I feel like it might feel like a little bit voluminous and something like that. Let me just open it out so you can sort of see. I mean, I think just when it's gathered, it might feel just a bit bulky and like a bit stiff. Our viscose linens would be really nice for the free range slacks because they've got lots of lovely drape. What I was thinking would be a good alternative, and this is hopefully going to answer the question that somebody else was asking about earlier, I think they would be nice for the Eve trouser, because the Eves have got little pleats at the front, but they are quite small, but then it's got a flat waistband, and they're definitely not fitted, so the free range slacks aren't fitted. I wouldn't say these are fitted either, but they're just a little bit straighter than there's going to just be less fabric in them than the free range slacks. So I think that's probably a better pairing there. You could also, for the Eve trousers, you could also use the enzyme linen and the ramie as well that I just showed as well. They would both be suggestions. Okay, then what question was here? Any tips for imagining which print will work best for particular patterns? I know a lot will depend on personal taste, but I struggle to imagine what a finished garment will look like. What I would suggest you do, if you find it hard to sort of picture things, is have a look at the hashtag for the pattern, or just Google image the pattern name, and you will then see lots of different versions of that particular pattern, or like a similar thing to what you want to make, and then you'll start to see lots of different versions. You'll see what it looks like made up in different fabrics. It can look quite different, so I would suggest doing that. Would your viscose linen fabrics work for the flints? Yes, they would. The flints are very wide-legged, so it would be quite a swishy version, but I think it would work really nicely. Any suggestions for a blouse embroidery anglaise? I do have that question coming up. Maybe you asked me it before. I'll come on to that shortly. Okay, the next question was suggestions for a more tailor/fitted pattern for a confident beginner with a fabric that isn't too demanding. I think that would be nice, and it is a bit more fitted because it's got the bust darts and it's got darts at the back as well. The other one that I brought over as well was the Avid Seamstress, the blouse. This is quite simple, and I would say the fit on this is it is a bit more fitted, certainly at the bust anyway. The other options are Tilly and the Buttons have got the Rosa shirt, which is quite fitted. Cashmere have got the Harrison shirt, which has princess seams, which is also quite fitted as well. So yeah, look for either princess seams or darts that are going to be at the bust and the waistline as well, either front or back, are going to be nice options there. And fabric wise, I would say a cotton lawn is going to be good. It's nice and easy to work with. It's going to press really well into seams and darts and that sort of thing. The next one was on the sort of topic of blouses and things as well. What would make nice shirts to wear to the office, like By Hand London Marie from your kits? So the By Hand London Marie has all the pin tucks at the top and the back yoke sort of sections as well, and then sort of fuller into the bodice. I would say that our plain viscose linen would be nice for that. What is this one here? No, that's not it there. This is the viscose linen. Sorry, I've got so many fabrics out tonight and getting them all mixed up. I I think that would still be nice in the by hand London Marie because it is still quite swishy and it would, you know, would press nicely into there. So it's a good option if you want a plain. The other one which would be very satisfying to sew into the Marie would be any of the Liberty viscose prints. Probably I would say a smaller scale one is going to be better just because there's so many pin tucks in it, but that'd be really nice and crisp and nice and smart as well. So yeah, something small scale like that. What other patterns have I done here? Okay, I made a Friday Pattern Company sagebrush from the Broderie Anglaise. It's my favourite top. Yeah, that sounds really nice combination. I have some corduroy for some eaves, just haven't cut it out yet. This is your sign to go for it. I made the Helen's Closet Ashton top in Broderie Anglaise and it's great. Yeah, you can definitely. Let me see if sometimes I get sort of put off my train of thought if I jump around my questions too much. I will come back to the Broderie Anglaise. Okay, the next one was, do you ever stock white denim, preferably stretched for jeans? I don't ever see it. It's not something that I come across that often. I'm wondering if it's just quite hard to like manufacture and keep clean, something like that. Generally, I would say that when we do have like white fabrics in stock, there's definitely like a higher percentage of them that end up being somehow faulty because they end up having marks on them, not from anything that we've done, just like you open it out and then it's got some kind of mark on it somewhere. But yeah, I'll look out for it, but I don't really see it. The next question was Elodie, wrap dress or Charlie caftan, differences in fabric options. So two really lovely classic closet core patterns here. The Elodie's a wrap dress, so it's going to have more shaping, it's more fitted round at the waist, whereas I would say that the Charlie caftan's definitely much looser. Even the version that's got the waist tie is probably a bit looser. It's just like more fabric going on in the Charlie caftan. I've made a version out of this in the enzyme linen before and I felt like it was a bit stiff, to be honest. I ended up not really liking it. So I would suggest definitely sticking with something that's a bit lighter weight for this. A double gauze is nice. I've seen nice versions in double gauze, or the viscose linen would also be nice in this one. The Elodie can be a little bit more versatile, I would say, in different terms of different types of fabric. Viscose prints definitely work really nicely with this one, as would the viscose linen. And I think also 100% linen would be nice in this one as well. You know, that sort of shorter sleeve version with the shorter skirt I think would be lovely. So yeah, I would say this is probably generally more voluminous, like there's more fabric in it compared to this one. But they are both really lovely. Lots of people loving the Elodie. Definitely Elodie. I love the Elodie. I've just got to hem mine. It's absolutely beautiful, especially in viscose. It is a really nice pattern. Have you got any of the enzyme linens to show at all? Yeah, I did show one earlier. Let's see if this is one. This is one here. Somebody actually wanted to see the turquoise, the washed turquoise enzyme linen and the lagoon teal. I don't have any lagoon teal in the bulk to show you. The lagoon teal's definitely more greeny though, definitely got more green vibes, whereas I would say this is a bit more bluey. So yeah, but this is the enzyme linen here. The next one was, do you have a simple to fit project for a viscose dress? I've just had a baby and no time for twirls. The Elodie is a good option because it's wrap, so potentially easier to fit because you just wrap it around a little bit less or a little bit more. My other suggestions were the Friday Pattern Company Wilder. It looks really nice in viscose. The Tilly and the Buttons Indigo as well. And I think I'm starting to overlap between a couple of questions here because somebody else was also asking for, where did that question go? It was a question about dresses that had short, maxi dresses that had long sleeves. I can't find where that question was now, but the Indigo has a really nice expansion pack which makes it maxi, which would be really nice. You definitely just sew shorter sleeves on it, just cut them shorter. And this is a really lovely one as well. It's a bit more detail in it because it's got a button down front and a collar, but another really lovely maxi dress option. So a few options there, quite easy to fix. They're all quite loose and all look really nice in viscose. The next one was a plain white t-shirt fabric that isn't see-through at all. At the moment, the only plain white fabric that I've got is this bamboo jersey. 68 bamboo and 28% cotton. I think for a tight fitting t-shirt probably is a little bit see-through, but if it was like a looser top, I think you'd be okay. We normally do have an organic optic white jersey, cotton jersey, which I have used to make the True Buys Rio ringer, which is pretty fitted. I mean, I wear a white bra with it, but I wouldn't say that it's see-through at all. But I don't think we've got any in stock at the moment, but you could just get in touch with us, either use the stock notification on the website or drop us an email and we'll let you know when that's back in again. The next one was fabric for a light spring type waterfall cardigan. I've pulled out this one, which I think would be nice. This is sort of double-sided fabric. On one side it looks like a kind of knitted fabric, and then the other side it looks like a sort of t-shirt jersey kind of fabric. So it's like two layers in one. But it's definitely got cotton in it. 70 cotton, 30% polyester. But I think that would make a lovely, nice cardigan. Just really nice texture in it as well. And then what else have we got? I'm about to start making the Jazika blazer. I need horsehair canvas. Do you sell it? I don't, I'm afraid. I did have a quick Google and it looks like McCulloch and Wallace sell it, so you could check them out. Here we go. Do you have any broderie anglaise? Suggestions on what to sew with broderie anglaise, please. So yeah, we had the suggestion earlier of the Friday Pattern Company sagebrush top. The Helen's Closet Ashton's also really nice. The other one that I think would be, you can make loads of stuff with it. Both of these patterns would be nice too. The Grain Line Hadley, that Megan Nielsen, not Megan Nielsen, what's that? Avid Seamstress, the blouse. The other one that where did that other one go that I brought over? I also think that the Tilly and the Buttons, their newer one, the Marie, would be really nice. Maybe not with the pleats that sort of change direction, the pin tucks that change direction, but I think there's a plain version of that as well, and then like a really nice ruffle, and I think that would look nice in broderie anglaise. I do have this classic white one here, which is really nice. White flower cotton broderie anglaise that's $14.90 a metre, and it's 100% cotton, and it's really nice. Obviously it's a bit see-through, so either you're going to be wearing a camisole with it, or if it is like a kind of looser top and it's summery, you know, you might maybe be wearing it over a swimsuit, or, you know, just nice white bra or something. But yeah, that's a few options there. I made a full length Charlie caftan in sequin stretch velvet for my work Christmas party, and I was really pleased with it. That sounds amazing. The optic white is gorgeous. Deer and Doe have some lovely maxi dresses. Yeah, they do actually. I always forget about them because they don't have the print. We used to have their printed patterns, but they don't print them anymore. But yeah, they're all available as PDFs. Tilly and the Buttons Bettine dress in viscose is easy to fit too. Yeah, that is easy to fit, isn't it? It's got elastic waist and just the grown on sleeves, so it's a bit easier. I made a full length Charlie caftan. I love it and had many lovely compliments about it. That's great. I made the Charlie in a black broderie anglaise, came out well for holidays. Lovely. Any recommendations for a nice long dress pattern for a cruise in the evening? Yeah, definitely check out Deer and Doe. At Fibre Mood have lots of nice dress patterns as well. When I was going to a couple of weddings last year, I saw lots of nice dresses on there that I liked. And So Over It have lots of different types of dress patterns as well, so a few places to check out there. Okay, a few minutes left. Let's see if we can blast through the last of these questions. Can you show the waffle cottons? I want to make a bag. Sure thing. We don't have loads of colours left now, but here's a few colours here that I thought these ones are maybe a bit more suited to a bag because they're darker. This one's nice as well. It's marled, so it's sort of like two-tone. But yeah, it's a nice sort of like spongy, quite sort of thick, kind of hard wearing fabric. So yeah, I think that could work nicely. And then we've also got pattern suggestions for the sanded twill. Will you be getting it in other colours? This is the fabric that we had in our Anna Allen Philippa pants kit last year, which was super popular, and I've been getting more of it in since. So we do have it in stone, this colourway, and also a black and a navy. It doesn't come in any other colourways. So I'm sorry, it will just be those colours. The other colours are all sort of like quite neutrally kind of colours or variations of beige that they have. They don't really have any other like exciting colours, I'm afraid, so sorry, it is just those ones. But in terms of pattern suggestions, anything that's for non-stretch fabric, so the Megan Nielsen Dawn, and then Anna Allen does have some really nice trouser patterns. The Philippa, the Persephone and the Helene jeans would all be suitable, but there are other, I think Merchant and Mills have got a nice jeans pattern. Any sort of non-stretch trouser pattern is good for them. I'm looking for a sturdy cotton twill fabric for trousers for my toddler to play outside. We do have a range of cotton twill fabric here. This is the evergreen. It comes in lots of different colours as well, and I think this would be good and nice and hard wearing for little trousers. So yeah, I would suggest that one. So this is evergreen cotton twill fabric, 14.50 a metre. But as I said, it does come in lots of other colours as well. Then any recommendations for a bomber jacket pattern? Wardrobe by Me, Amelia Bomber, and the Itch to Stitch Causeway Bomber are both ones that I found. A sleeveless shirt dress pattern for a 7-year-old. Had a quick look for this one and I came across Rebecca Page Patterns, who have a pattern called Sophia with an F, which looked like a really cute sort of simple shirt dress. You can either have sleeves or non-sleeves. And then we've got any soft jersey fabric suitable for newborn sleep suits. We do have some really cute little, where did I put them? Little jersey prints that would be good for sleep suits. A couple here. This one's really sweet. It's got little foxes on it. This is muted grey doodle fox jersey fabrics, 15.60 a metre. And then I've also got this one, which is the Pom Teddies in marled crew cotton jersey fabric. Another really cute one there. They feel nice and soft, so a couple of options there. We do have lots of stripy cotton jerseys too, which I think would be cute. Okay, then the last one was the candy pink cross stitch floral. Would like to know if lining is required for a dress. So where did I put the pink one for this? I think it might be, I can't, there it is there. I'm literally like buried in with fabric. This is the pink cross stitch one here. I think probably for a dress, I think you would maybe feel like you would want to line it. I don't know if it was quite gathered, maybe not, but otherwise I think it might feel quite thin and maybe a bit too exposed if you didn't. I would just use a cotton lawn or a cotton voile to line it, but yeah, I feel like for a dress probably, I think you would probably feel like you wanted to. Okay, so phew, that's all the questions that I had on my list. I'm sorry if I missed off your question. I did have quite a lot, so I couldn't answer everyone's today, but I can always add it on to next week, so you can send me them again. Any nice patterns for a sleeveless summer dress for an adult? I'll add that on for next week. Somebody's suggesting wear a slip. Yeah, another good suggestion you could do. Thanks for your thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed all of that. Surely the wild gown would work with the broderie anglaise like the picture. Yeah, it would. Indeed. Let's see. Thanks for a great hour of chat. You are a trooper to keep talking so long. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. And yeah, there's the window virtual tour on the YouTube channel. There's a new fabrics video on YouTube channel as well. There's going to be more new fabrics coming online this week, so I'll show you them next Monday. And don't forget to sign up to the newsletter if you haven't already, so that you can get first access to the new kits that are getting launched on Wednesday. And watch out for the next sneak peek of the birthday fabric print that will be coming out next weekend. And yeah, if you are just joining in now and you want to watch back again, I'll be posting it to and saving it to Instagram and then uploading it onto YouTube as well tomorrow, so you can watch it back there as well. But thank you all for watching. Thank you for your thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you soon. Bye.